On the southwest section of the old city wall is the Zion Gate. Looking at the gate from the outside, there's evidence of many potholes from the war in 1948 when the Israelis recaptured their city, Jerusalem. In the pavement outside the gate, I saw this mural typical of Israeli art. I took a picture showing even all the tread marks of the tires that have to jockey back and forth to make the sharp turn. But from here we head west, round the corner of the wall to our next destination. I'm going to spend a lot of time in this section of the wall between the Hidden Gate and the Jaffa Gate on the west side of the city, as I think it is very significant and there's a lot to learn from this area. Please note the location of a stone tower and 2 rows of stone proceeding out from the wall towards us. In between these 2 rows would have been a pathway, a walkway, and entranceway to the Hidden Gate, which we cannot see because it has been shut up. But what is evident is the steps that still remain in front of the gate. Here is another image I found online from a different perspective showing the stonework on either side of a pathway that would have been leading to the wall and through the wall's gate into the city. Inside this gate to the left is the governor's residence, and also where the governor, Pilate it would have been at the time of Jesus, would have carried out official business. To the left of the Hidden Gate, and about 10 to 15 feet higher than the grass, there is a promenade that goes along the wall where the arrows are pointing to. We'll go to that next. Along the base of the wall you can still see the pavement stones from the promenade. Here is a view looking down the promenade to the north. Looking down from the promenade, we can see the large area where many hundreds of people could have gathered along the roadway that leads up to the north end of the city where there's more city gates. Now that you have an overall pictorial image and understanding of the site, let me explain why it is so significant. Very close to the spot where Carl, Doug, and Todd are standing today is where 2,000 years ago Jesus and Pilate most likely would have stood. How do we know this? Well, let's consider the evidence of the site as compared to Scripture. Just behind the bush before the tower is the Hidden Gate. We've talked about this before. This is where Pilate would have gone in and out. The population of people gathered in this open area, especially the Jews, would have not gone in through the gate to Pilate's court to debate about Jesus, because if they did, they would get defiled, as the scripture says. Then they led Jesus from Caiaphas' house, the Jewish high priest, unto the hall of judgment, the praetorium, and it was early in the morning. And they themselves went not into the judgment hall, lest they be defiled and unable to eat the Passover meal. So notice what Pilate had to do. So Pilate went outside to them and said, "What accusation do you bring against this man?" Skipping down to verse 33, Scripture says, "So Pilate entered his headquarters again, and called Jesus, and said to him, Are you king of the Jews?" Verse 38, Pilate said to him, "What is truth?" After he said this, he went back outside to the Jews and told them, "I find no guilt in him." So presumably after Pilate said this, he went back inside the gate to where Jesus was, and in verse 1 of chapter 19 it says, "Then Pilate took Jesus and flogged him. And the soldiers twisted together a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and arrayed him in a purple robe." Verse 4, Pilate went out again and said to them, "See, I am bringing him out to you, that you may know that I find no guilt in him." So Jesus came out, wearing the crown of thorns and the purple robe. Pilate said to them, "Behold, the man." When the chief priests and the officers saw him, they cried out, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" Pilate said to them, "Take him yourselves, and crucify him, for I find no guilt in him. This is where the greatest injustice in the world's history occurred.